And Spielberg replied, and he say, yes, as long as you don't go too close, it's fine. Because at some point he sent me some reference. Turns out we won. Both, yeah. So that was amazing, and then yeah, from there, I decided to quit France and to move to Canada.
So tell me, because I want to dissect all these things.
Okay.
So that is a huge change, because I made the move from LA to San Diego, which is 2 hours away, and it felt like a life.
Oh, totally. I mean,
canyon splitting open.
I don't think it's a matter of miles or distance. It's just moving to something else. It's
when you built up your network and your all that. So
yeah.
Talk about that. Like, what were the things you were wrestling with?
So after all that, networking, it was very hard to get into the TV and stuff. So aside of this little connection that I had, despite I was like, Cannes Film Festival, I was working for it for an American company, interviewing stars. So I was close to that business very, very early. But I was around, and it was like, hey, here's my business card. But nobody cared, I'm just like a producer assistant, helping. I decided to, let's try, let's try to go to Canada and say how it feels. So let's get closer to the real deal, let's try. But I know it's going to take time. I wasn't like, it's going to happen tomorrow and I'm going to be whatever, whoever, and da. So I very early I have a consciousness of, this is a very, very hard industry, very tough. So, let's go on our pace, because I still not wanted me going crazy with like, jumping, do whatever anywhere, like to be too messy in everything, but just try to analyze, observe a lot, and going in my own pace. And if it happens later, well, if it happens later, that doesn't really matter. So without all that, with all that, I moved there, Canada, and I about I think I left with $10,000 in pocket. And that's it. I lived a year, and I was like, still not. And then I realized the market in Montreal area and stuff is really, really smaller than what I thought. It was really hard. So, and I was about to go back to France, and until I got an opportunity with same thing in a party. You meet some friend and say, oh yeah, I think I know a girl, she knows a guy, this guy is looking for a composer for a video game company. Yeah, I'll let you know, I found the mail, and so I said, okay, cool, thank you. And then the guy found the mail in the trash for me, and I say, video games, that's for mobile game company, I don't know, let's, I need pay the bill, and maybe it's gonna help me to build some network around and stuff. We never know. Let's try that way. And I was a gamer, and I'm still being a gamer since ever. So video games, I love that. So let's try. Apply. There were tests. I did the test, and interviews and stuff, and I got hired. And then turns out I love that so much. And it was like before the iPhone even came out. So there was like MIDI, and it was like, but I've learned the hard way how to make sound effects in MIDI with like, and we have the challenge like to get the smaller pack size as possible, and to get all these. So you use like a bass drum, and you put like super fast, and it gives the sound on the phone. It's like, that could work for a gunshot, different weapons and stuff. And what about how can I do I don't know, creator sliding on something? So we were like, with just MIDI instruments available on the phone. And that was
you do sound design in addition to scoring.
Yeah, and then scoring the thing as well, so the game as well. But it was a very tiny project and stuff. But I learned that way, and then but because I'm very organized, and I've been promoted as lead and stuff, and then I became the audio director of the company.
Was it in Montreal? Or?
No, that was in Montreal, but then I had to move back to Paris because the HQ was in Paris. The company is called Gameloft. So, and then I became like the world audio director for them. So I was like starting to grow the team, and I was responsible for the whole team. So I became more like a manager, but still doing some stuff and giving vision to overall audio the vision for the direction for other composers and sound designers.
So talk about that, when you go from being the composer to being the manager of several composers, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So what is that like? Because you're not hands-on anymore, right?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of strange because like they say, oh, he's good. Let's take him as a manager, which is not very good because like yeah, you think this guy is the best on your team, and you take him off from what he's good at to become a manager to hold. But I try to get the smart way. So I try to still have a hands-on things, and you know sometimes a trailer, sometimes I was. For participating to a project as well, and actually as an audio director, I was giving direction through examples. That was a good opportunity for me to keep hands-on and to show like what was my vision for that game in terms of musical style, and as well for sound design, what kind of landscape we want to sonorize and stuff like that. So I was trying to get a balance, you know, to still doing things. So I did that, and sometimes I was like, oh my god, this project is so for me. So I was like, you know, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get this one for me, myself, and I. Sorry, we're gonna be selfish for once. And this project was Tintin. So we made the game from the movie, and finally,
Spielberg film.
yeah, Spielberg and Peter Jackson, yeah, and so yeah, we made the mobile games of the movie, and I've done the whole. I think I had like 10 projects in the same time managing for the company, plus Tintin score. So I was working like, weekends and nights and stuff for 4 months or something, and yeah, I wrote an hour of music, and then I could put my John Williams part of my book, my John Williams book from my library. All right, let's do it. Let's do Tintin that way, because of course it was very as soon as you deal with licensors. It's very picky, very tricky. Like I work with many projects for Marvel and Disney and stuff, and they all have their own like level of difficulty to work with sometimes. So because they're, this is their license, their baby, so you have to respect a lot of that. So it's important, but still you have to to keep sort of ownership as well. So because you're going to do the thing. So yeah, I remember I received like. 3 pieces of music, like from John Williams, recording actually the music for Tintin, and I've listened to that. I was like, wait a minute, it sounds like Catch Me If You Can meet Harry Potter for some reason. I was like, is it Tintin? Wow, interesting. So it's kind of a new John Williams kind of thing. I don't know. It was like interesting. I contacted the production and say, hey. Okay, those are great, but I was feeling a bit embarrassed because this is not the Williams I know. I was a bit lost in translation, in the sort of musical language. I said, this is interesting. I didn't see Tintin with this thing, but I didn't see the movie. I didn't see everything was in the making. So, and I counter proposed something else. I said, okay, let's have the guts. And I don't know why Tintin for me. I had this idea of. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which was one of my favorite score from Williams, and Spielberg replied and he say yes, as long as you don't go too close, it's fine, because at some point he sent me some reference, an old show which was in the 80s, and I think they're remaking it. I don't remember the name. It's Stories something. Anyway, so it sent me that music and say, oh, okay, now I recognize the Williams I know. So I felt more confident. So that's why I came up with that John Williams, like The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And he said, yeah, okay. I said, okay, cool. And so I had to compose, and we had to send over a pack of things, a version of the game plus whatever was made so far every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, and I just received one feedback for the music. It was like, music is in line with the vision of directors, blah blah blah, and so all good. That's the only feedback I got for the whole project, because I was so connected with the thing, and I was like, I knew my John Williams part of me, and I could do something cool. So yeah, that was a great experience for that.